the tower one,
Like
listed as
the
all
tower.
73.
Oh, yeah.
What about
Some of them countable ones are having extension errors.
Right. Really showed.
The other one that I was noticing was the joint is all unknown questions.
Some of us have.
Look at, this is what Catherine did. So she like showed how she made 10. No, she didn't make 10. Interesting.
but
She chose not to make 10. But she's showing the steps that she took. And like when we do
And
another.
a little bit, I think too, like,
Yeah.
would they, if this big huge box wouldn't have been there, would they have been more cognizant of the equal sign? I don't know. It doesn't matter, they need to be able to do it both ways. So, because the thing is that almost all of them who got it wrong put a 10, you know?
Yeah. But that's also a really huge common misconception that like that doesn't.
Right, they forget.
What successful instructional practices were we using for grouping tens and ones?
Something that I thought was really helpful with the grouping tens and ones is when Brianna put the slides in one of our smart boards, it's like there's 10 fingers and just all of these different real world examples of the base 10 system that we use, you know.
So we talked about, like, we use the word efficient, and what does it mean to be efficient, and to be like fast and accurate, and how can grouping by like 5 or by 10 help you be
That we did over and over again was like a really clear number talks, and then the pair up and they problem solved together, and then they shared out. So like they were constantly sharing ideas on whiteboards in the focus lesson before they went to do any type of group work or independent work.
That actually was a big difference in our planning. We very specifically identified what number talk do we want. We did like at least 3 a week that we were like, okay, let's use this, let's focus with that. And I think that made
Number talks is when I was asking them to share out, I would specifically choose students based on like where their math skills are at. So we'd start very basic, like, you know, who's using circles still, or who's doing something more concrete, and then I moved all the way into the deeper
concrete
level.
to abstract,
Yeah.
progression.
By picking students specific to
That's
their-
probably a major impact on this ability to use tens and ones, because we've started to really do that. Start with somebody who's counting by ones. Think about somebody who's starting to organize into rows, moving into the kid who's just drawing a bar and writing a 10 on it, to students who are using numbers only strategies. That's gonna really impact our ability to move them to a numbers only strategy sooner than later, which is exciting to hear for third
about that
grade.
equality and like kind of how my students struggled just a little bit with that. And I think maybe doing some number talks that are more equality based and less just sum related would really help, because the number talks were so powerful. I could give my kids any number string and they can just solve it. And they can name what strategy they were using. I mean, they are
So great.
it's beautiful. But if I do that with equality and give this test again, 100% mastery probably.
And I was also saying to Jessie, having the blank first and
Yeah.
then plus something, like still some of the kids are not, they see that blank and they're like, it was 7 plus 3 equals blank plus 5, and they put 10.
Yep.
7 plus 3 equals
Yes.
10, and they didn't see the rest of that, so having some qualities with
Right.
that
And
blank.
that's what Jen and I were talking about, is where that
Where that
empty
box
space lived is really difficult for kids, because they forget about that plus 5 on the end. They just don't see it, you know.
Or see it as 2 separate things. I need to solve this and then figure out how I'm gonna get this side to equal that
And we were
side.
talking about maybe having them start to use a caret to kind of define each side, because
Yeah.
they need to be the same.
Almost I'm thinking also like
Say
the 2
the equal
colors.
sign, what are you saying?
Ooh, that's another good one. And you guys have been talking about specific language. Do you do things like 7 plus 3 is the same
That's what
as
I
5
use.
plus
I do say is the same as. And Kate,
Kate.
what do you say?
I say is equal to, but I also say is the same as.
all in like one.
That's good to know.
Equal to.
I don't know what I say, but I'll be saying it if I do.
You could even say, does it have a balance, or is it, I use all of them.
Yeah,
Like balance.
Mostly I say it's the same as.
Yeah, these two, like, if you use them literally at the same time,
Yeah,
that's where the language impact, I think, has a big.
because I think I only had one that didn't get the equality question like that.